Hello everyone. We're moving on to day 3 of trying to understand what it means to be truly human in a biblical sense, that is. Having made the first attempt at recognising the need for humility and lament, we now move forward into thanksgiving. Yesterday we left off by saying that when we truly lament, we can know what it means to be truly thankful. In Paul's final instructions to the church in Thessalonica, he's talking about walking in humility, lamenting over destruction and wrongdoing, and then immediately he switches tack into this statement in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 16. He says, "Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." It doesn't say give thanks for all circumstances, but give thanks in every circumstance, whether good or bad. Often we do need to lament for the awful circumstances we find ourselves in, and that's okay. But even in the midst of those circumstances, we need to give thanks. Why? Well, because it's the will of God, but because there is a huge power in giving thanks. Now, Jesus gave a very simple illustration of that when he fed 5,000 men and their families with a few small fish and some bread. Before giving it to the disciples to distribute, what did he do? Well, he didn't complain that it wasn't enough. He didn't say, "Can't you guys find me anything better than this?" He didn't say, "I don't know how you're going to expect me to do this." He simply gave thanks. Giving thanks places a great big multiplication sign against even the smallest amount of hope or resource in even the most unlikely situations. This was a lesson I learned a number of years ago when I was in a seriously unhappy situation at work. I dreaded going into work. My colleagues were awful, my clients were awful, the work was awful. It was awful. I then read an old book entitled Prison to Praise by Merlin Carothers, and it opened my eyes to the truth and the reality of this verse that we've just read. To say it transformed my life is an understatement. As a result of making the choice to give thanks in my circumstances, even despite them, that obviously did something in me that I was not aware of myself, but clearly was seen by others. As come the end of that year, my annual appraisal, I received my first and only ever outstanding report. And as a result of that, my boss gave me the opportunity to choose where I wanted to work, and that then led me to a whole new career in designing computer systems rather than working in retail banking, which, to be quite honest, was pretty dire. My circumstances did eventually change, but it was giving thanks in the old circumstances that was the key. The inner change eventually affected the outer change. So even in the midst of COVID-19, as hard as it may be, I want to encourage you to look for one thing to give thanks for. It is right to lament for all of the grief that's around us. I do not wish to understate that in any way. But as I have conversations with people around me, my motive has been to turn the conversation, which is often focused around lament and grief, to one of thanksgiving, however difficult that might be. Why do I do that? Because it empowers. It empowers others. It starts from a place of being humble and acknowledging lament and drawing out a praise in every circumstance. So my prayer is that if you do not already know the power of giving thanks to God, that He will reveal this invaluable tool to you right now. So have a great evening. Just go away and ask God what you can give thanks for tonight, and let that power start to work in you. God bless you all. Bye for now.